You can do this. Hi, this is Cheryl Petersen with Healing Science Today. I'm going to talk about sexuality and spirituality. Where I live in America, new theories on masculinity, femininity, and neutrality get public attention. The theories probably aren't new. I'm older, but not as old as human history, which naturally includes sexuality and spirituality, but maybe they were a little more privately discussed back in the day. I think individuals who identify with spirituality are less likely to limit themselves to sexuality and more likely to discover healthy relationships. I work in a public library, the children's department, which is a hoot because children are so close to being the best representatives of inquisitiveness, innocence, honesty, minimalism, creativity, spirituality. This tangible spiritual power sheds light on thoughts of sexuality. And more, spirituality outshines not only sexuality, but also age, mental status, body size, weight, height, color of skin or hair, fashion, time. Let's take yesterday at work. My job is to assist patrons to find information, to reshelf books, and, well, clean up. I remind myself to let spirituality shine through me. And to be honest, I have to discipline myself often not to fall into the trap of judging others by anything other than spirituality. While different groups of patrons come in separately, so often, it soon looks like they all came together with one desire: to appreciate, to expand thought, to practice spirituality. Yesterday, questions and responses had little to do with apathy or indignation and more to do with greater possibilities. Our library has a scavenger hunt. The children started helping one another find the next pirate. Parents smiled and started talking. It is pretty funny. The pirate they can't find is typically the one right in front of their nose. Or I tell them to put eyeballs on your ankles and look for number 2 pirate, and they find it on the wall near the floor. Some children look for books, read, or play. 2 children asked me to get the Monopoly game for them. We navigated the aisles so as not to bump into the parent who was reading near the display celebrating Pride Month, or the dads who were sitting in child-sized chairs discussing their jobs and pensions. I got the board game for them and they went off to sit down and started playing. There were moms and children sitting on the floor, being guided with books, or they're walking, learning to walk. The tweens, they weren't really teenagers yet, but they were moving around with imaginations that mocked any thought of boredom. They pretended to be characters like in a book, even switching characters. No limitations there. One girl picked up a scrap of paper, pinched it between her lip and nose like a mustache, and changed her accent. Instant new character. But soon, one of the boys who was playing Monopoly wanted to go do something else. So the teammate asked me to play. I said, well, I'm shelving books right now, but let's ask someone else. I asked a young man who had been coloring with crayons if he'd like to play, and he did. The 2 of them almost finished the game before the young man's caregiver took him home. The first boy was putting the game away, and I asked him how it went. Without a hint of knowing the now gone young man was mentally challenged, he answered with a smile, "We almost got to finish, and he probably would have won. He had 6 houses, and I only had 4. I only had $2 left." On and on. You get the picture. I hear a lot of details sometimes. But details are helpful. They help us redefine, revise, and restore. Let's take the definitions of masculine and feminine. Contrary to headlines, they aren't being lost or distorted when interpreted through spirituality rather than sexuality. The masculine isn't confined to a definition of a male human being. Feminine isn't tied to a female human being. Sure, those details are important when it comes to physical care. It would be silly to try to treat me as if I have a penis. But we do have details on the spiritual nature of the masculine and feminine as embracing features of humaneness, strength, leadership, sacrifice, creativity, love. I see evidence of what's being lost, the negative features of a dominating or submissive sex. I see evidence of what's being discovered. Spirituality can guide sexuality with the rule of harmony and health. I'll read From Science and Religion to God, a briefer narrative of Mary Baker Eddy's Science and Health. Health is not a condition of physical atoms, but of infinite mind. Freedom is not a circumstance of temporal life, but of eternal life. Spirituality is not a power of measured force, but of immeasurable force. While working out the laws of mind, things are resolved into thoughts. The objects of physical sense are replaced with spiritual ideas. Human perceptions fade as we find divine perceptions clear and thriving. The key is spiritual discovery.